Wake her up. Welcome back, Evangeline.
Finally, this is also the story of an obsessive, manipulative, and ambitious man. This is the story of Caleb Bowen.
Wait, where am I?
I'll be the one asking the questions here, girl. My name is Caleb Bowen. I work for the United States government.
Bowen often made that claim, though it was at best a half-truth. Sure, he'd worked for the government once, but that was a long time ago, and he'd been running solo for years.
Do you realize that you trespassed on a site closed off by the United States government? And more importantly, that you were seen in the company of Professor Harrison Everhart. You may not know this, but Everhart is a subversive individual. We suspect he may be working for the communists.
Bowen kept lying. He knew Harry could be many things, but a communist was definitely not one of them.
You better have proof for what you're saying.
You are in no position to demand anything, girl. But even so, I'll show you who Professor Everhart really is. Your father's name was Franklin Drayton. He and his brother Moses ran a workshop in Benoit, Mississippi called Drayton Motors. He died in a work accident in San Francisco in 1934. Is that correct?
You've been investigating me? What kind of...
Shut up and listen to what I have to say. Do you recognize anyone besides your father in this photograph?
Wait, is that Professor Everhart?
Oh, correct. Everhart led an expedition to the Pacific in 1934. Your father was part of that expedition.
That was the only truth Bowen told during his conversation with Evangeline.
Your father didn't die in San Francisco, Miss Drayton. He died in excruciating agony, alone and abandoned, on an island in the Pacific, and all because of Professor Everhart. I bet he never told you that, did he? In fact, every member of the Everhart expedition died or disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Even the professor's wife, whose strange illness was the impetus for the expedition, vanished under equally mysterious circumstances.
I didn't vanish. I simply fulfilled my destiny, accepting the painful sacrifice my husband planned.
How can you possibly know that?
One of my associates was part of that expedition. She also perished, though not before informing us of what had happened.
Evie was in shock and full of doubt. The professor was a withdrawn and sullen individual, and frankly really hard to deal with, but could he also be responsible for her father's death? Despite her doubts, she kept silent, and wisely so. She still didn't trust this Bowen fella, regardless of his claim that he worked for the government.
Now you know the kind of person you've gotten involved with, Evangeline, and the kind of trouble you're in. I have a few questions for you. For your own good, I suggest you cooperate. That platform beneath the lake in the Rappahannock River caves, how did you manage to activate it?
What do you want me to say? I don't know.
You must have recognized the girl's cognitive pattern, I'm sure of it. She even mentioned a period of amnesia, just like Peasley.
I hope you're right.
Evangeline had not the slightest idea what those two men were talking about.
Next question. You said a word while you were asleep. Narcotis. Do you know what that means?
I don't know. It's just a word that appears in my dreams.
What dreams are you talking about?
My recurring dreams. I see a civilization in ruins that...
Evie stopped dead in her tracks again. Maybe she said too much. She didn't know if she could really trust this man.
Final question. Have you heard of someone named Dr. West?
I've never heard that name in my life. I swear.
This is a waste of time, Pharaoh. It's obvious the girl is hiding something, but there are more effective and less traumatic ways of getting that information.
You're right. Proceed.
What are you gonna do to me?
Oh, nothing serious. Please take a look at this. Do you understand this language?
Even though it was written in those puzzling characters, Evie understood the book's title. Narcotic Manuscripts, Non-Linear Displacements Toward the Great Library and Reversible Transfer of Cognitive Pattern.
Tell me, Miss Drayton, what's written in the book cover?
Narcotic Manuscripts.
Evie surprised herself. Had she spoken against her will? She couldn't help but translate the book's subtitle as well. She was feeling more and more tired.
That's better, Miss Drayton. Now, open the book. Focus and listen to my voice. Listen to my voice while you read the book to us. Read the book to us.
Salvek, Kornathun, Nakotas.
What just happened? Am I in my dorm?
Oh no, Evie was not in her dorm room. Not at all.
Hey, over here, Evangeline. Hey, how are things, kid?
Papa! Papa! But it can't be! You're alive?
Oh, of course I am, darling. But you have to find a way.
That was not her father, of course.
You must reach Nakotas.
Have I crossed another one of those portals? Good Lord. None of this makes any sense. This is weird. Really weird.
Salvek, Kornathun, Nakotas.
Motors? Dad and Uncle Mo's motor shop in Benoit?
Moses, we're running out of money. If we don't get some cash soon, we'll have to shut the shop down. Yeah, well, that's easy for you to say. I've got a daughter to provide for.
You're a whiz, mister. would you be interested by any chance in an exciting job opportunity in the Pacific?
Papa, don't do it! Don't go to San Francisco, please! Hey, what just happened?
It'll only be a few days, Jitterbug. I'll be back before you can say Jack Robinson.
Drayton is dead, but it doesn't matter. His death brings me closer to an answer. I'll do whatever it takes. The only thing that matters is Nora's life.
Wait, no. That doesn't sound like the professor at all.
Evie realized Bowen's lies were seeping into her thoughts.
Frank, how do you feel?
Not good. But that doesn't matter anymore, Mr. Harry. Just listen to me. Get off this cursed island. You'll find nothing here but death. Go back home. Spend what time you've got left with your wife. And there's another thing I want to ask of you.
Where am I now? Who are you?
Salve, Cornathun, Nakotas.
The great engineer?
Salve, Cornathun, Nakotas. Incredible. Did you hear that? We were right. We finally found the coordinates. At last we know where Nakotas lies. Thanks for your cooperation, Miss Drayton.
About an hour after Evangeline had her otherworldly vision,
Finally, I'm inside.
Harry snuck into the same building where she was being kept captive. He had been there many years ago, when he was seeking funding for the Everhart expedition.
Miss Drayton, are you there? What on earth?
Harry had always suspected that the starry wisdom was something far more sinister than a simple astronomical society. And as soon as he stepped into their inner sanctum, his worst fears were confirmed.
Egyptian hieroglyphs? Apparently, the only way to get into the Pharaoh's office is by getting the right combination on the statues downstairs. And I bet my life that pharaoh is Caleb Bowen. These people are out of their minds, no doubt about it. And they clearly have a pathological obsession with Egypt. There's a pyramid in the center of this chamber. I wonder if... Stellae Sapientis. The Starry Wisdom Society, Providence. Stellae Sapientis. The Starry Wisdom Society, Providence. Only those who have been enlightened know the divine geometry of the tetrahedron, which grants access to the gates of knowledge. What's this load of baloney? A tetrahedron. A tet... Certain sections of this pyramid seem to move.
For a moment, Harry wondered whether it was a good idea to mess with the mechanism, but he quickly dismissed the thought. Even if it meant alerting someone, he had to find Evangeline and get out of there.
Yes, the doors to the upper rooms are open. This looks like a biologist's office. Looks like even kooky cultists have a love life. Who would have thought? They rotated the positions. What does that mean? Hanging your college diploma on the wall while you're in some sort of weird cult doesn't strike me as the smartest idea. I'm sure I could name all the fish in this aquarium.
Much to his dismay, Harry had become something of an expert on fish.
The shelf is packed with every kind of specimen. Looks like it came straight out of Dr. Frankenstein's lab. Just an office. But this couch, maybe from a psychiatrist's office? This metronome still makes my skin crawl. He sounds glad to be rid of him.
Pharaoh already announced the ritual positions. I'll have to be next to Orion nearly all year.
Harry immediately recognized the voice of Dr. Frog in the Throat.
I've always despised spoiled rich kids, and Orion's no exception. I'll have to pretend I tolerate him, but luckily I'm fairly skilled at pretending.
Drat. This is my prescription from Dr. Frog in the Throat. $1955. So they've been doing this for a while now. A roll of film. I wonder what's on it. This office looks expensive. Must belong to... This fella clearly has expensive tastes. I'm impressed. What nonsense are they talking about now? The robbery at my house could have gone way worse, all things considered. You have to be some kind of narcissist to snap a pic of yourself. Especially if it... October 29th. An archaeologist's office for sure. There's something written in German in these pages.
Although Harry's German was a bit rusty, he understood what it meant. The letter laid bare the bad blood between some of the cult members. Something pretty...
This must be the group's official photographer. This guy has been all over the world. A bin full of discarded prints. Trays with various chemical substances. They even have the molecular structures written on the bottles. Drat, I messed it up. I should start again. Trays with various chemical substances. They even have the molecular structures written on... Good. I've developed the photo. This looks like an astronomer's office. This book seems to recount traditions of ancient Egypt. Heaven's sake, these kooks really are obsessed with ancient Egypt. Different constellations. It would take a good eye to locate all of them in the night sky. Different constellations. It would take a good eye to locate all of them in the night sky. So these freaks have masks, code names, and hieroglyphs assigned to each of them. So these freaks have... Only those who have been enlightened know the divine geometry of the tetrahedron, which grants access to the gates of knowledge. What's this load of baloney? Egyptian hieroglyphs? Damn it, it didn't work. I need to go over it again. That elevator. It must be the access to Bowen's office. Evangeline has to be there. I'm sure of it.
As he rode the elevator up, Harry regretted not bringing a weapon. What if Bowen was still up there?
All right. Let's see what you're hiding here, you scoundrel. Well, looks like they give this medal to just about anyone. That doesn't sound good at all. And what's this? I knew Bowen would never abandon his Nazi pals. Apparently, that John Teague was Fornax, another cult member. So the cult was on the expedition along with Peasley. Consciousness exchange. Spitsbergen. That's the place in Norway Evangeline mentioned. Dr. West? This creature seems vaguely familiar.
Evangeline had to be on the other side of that door, no doubt about it. But Harry stopped before entering. Was there anything left for him to find in Caleb Bowen's office?
Please be all right, Evangeline. Let's go, Miss Drayton. We have to get out of here.
Look, it's the engineer. I've seen one of those creatures before. In my dreams. In the Stone City, in the jungle. He spoke to me in my dreams, Professor. I have to...
Forget about it, Miss Drayton. We have to call the police and...
Calling the police won't do any good, Professor. We have to go to Spitsbergen. I need to talk with him, with the great engineer.
Miss Drayton, don't you realize this doesn't make any sense? We can't chase Bowen and his...
No, you don't understand. Bowen isn't in Spitsbergen. He's on his way to the city, on his way to Nakotis.
Harry couldn't believe what he had just heard. Evangeline had mentioned a place he had known in dreams, long ago. So long ago, he had nearly forgotten it.
I had a strange dream today. I was inside a vast library and gazed at vistas of another world.
All these questions came crashing down on Harry. And suddenly, he wasn't so convinced anymore. Before boarding the plane to Norway, Evie and Harry talked about the trip. about where they'd be stopping over, about what they'd do once they got to Spitzbergen. They talked about bringing plenty of warm clothing and gear and supplies to make it through. They talked about getting their documents and passports in order. They even talked about the strange city they had both dreamt of. But Evie knew there was something they hadn't talked about. A question she didn't know how to ask the professor, because every time she'd tried, the right words never came out. But a long flight leaves plenty of time to think.
Professor?
Yes?
When I was being held by that man, Bowen, he showed me a picture of you. A picture of you and my father in the Pacific. Did you know my father, Professor?
And then, it was Harry who didn't know how to find the right words. Because even though he'd been waiting years for that question, he still didn't know how to answer it. Evie took Harry's silence as a yes.
How come you never told me you knew my father?
You never asked.
What do you mean, I never asked? What kind of an answer is that?
Evie was furious. That petty, childish excuse didn't suit the professor at all.
Look, I wanted to.
You wanted what? Just talk, for God's sake.
All right. I'll explain everything.
Good. We've got plenty of time to spare before we land.
My wife, Nora, was diagnosed with an incurable disease. The same hereditary illness of unknown origin that had struck her mother before her. The doctors had no answer. So I decided to find it myself. I never imagined the answer would take me so far away. To a remote island in the Pacific. Back then, I didn't have the financial independence I have now. So I had to raise money and put a team together. Do you remember the night before your father left for work in San Francisco? You were probably 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, God. Yes, I remember. I remember a beautiful, dark-haired woman, a nervous, scrawny guy, and a man who seemed really happy about something.
I'll never forget those words. You're a whiz, mister. Would you be interested, by any chance, in an exciting job opportunity in the Pacific? That's right. Frank agreed to come with us to the island. It pained him to leave you and your mother back in Mississippi, but he needed the money and I was paying very well. But that island wasn't what we expected. There was something there that... Let's just say there are forces in this world that mankind ought not to meddle with, Miss Drayton. Things like the Black Ooze, and on that island, it was everywhere. I told you, it's the most dangerous substance I've ever come across. We found that out when one of the expedition members came into contact with it. It was him, driven mad, who attacked your father. Just a shallow cut with an ancient dagger, but enough to infect him with that black liquid. That is what took Frank's life. I did what I could to look after him, but that infection, it was beyond anything I could handle. His final words still haunt me. Harry, please look after my wife and my little girl. And that's what I've been trying to do all these years. Though evidently not as well as I might have done.
Evie was speechless. She could not believe it.
Take care of me? What are you talking about? I just met you a week ago. I've never had anyone except my mother. And the only help we ever got was from the insurance checks. What kind of help are you—
There was no insurance, Evangeline.
What?
Harry decided that since he'd started telling the truth, he wouldn't stop halfway.
I am the Hydrangea Foundation. Hydrangeas were just Nora's favorite flowers, that's all.
And then, Evie understood. She understood the strange and painful sacrifice that man had made.
I wasn't the one who drove that dagger into your father, but I dragged him to that island and didn't listen when he told me we had to leave.
Harry had spent a long time avoiding the truth of what had happened nearly 30 years before, on that island in the Pacific. But for the first time in ages, he was forced to face it.
So yes, your father died because of me. I can't tell you how sorry I am. I won't be so foolish as to ask for your forgiveness. I know I have no right to it. I understand how you must feel now. I understand that you hate me.
I don't hate you, Professor. I feel terribly sorry for you.
Evie didn't say it to hurt him. She genuinely felt sorry for that man. A man who had known happiness for such a short while. Far too short. And now, he had nothing left except a fortune that was all but useless to him.
You tried. You did all you could to save your wife. And along the way, you made many mistakes. Mistakes that dragged others to their deaths. Including my father, yes. But nothing we do now will bring my father or your wife back, will it? Let's leave it be. It'll be better for both of us, don't you think?
Yes, of course.
Evie and Harry remained silent for the rest of the journey. Things between Evangeline and Harry couldn't have been colder. Even colder than the freezing weather on that remote Norwegian island.
God, this is unbearable. How can you endure this cold? Looks like you like it.
It's not that I like it, but heat.
I used to like heat, but then I spent 3 months isolated on a Pacific island and watched everyone around me die, Harry thought of saying.
I've grown accustomed to the cold over the years, that's all.
What we saw in Bowen's office? The Black Pharaoh, Azathoth, and all that? What do you think it means?
Just the ramblings of a madman, I'm sure of it. I'm actually more worried about the other things. Spitsbergen, the statue, your memory loss, and your dreams about that creature. Too much of a coincidence, isn't it?
Do you really believe it's possible to switch minds?
Honestly, Miss Drayton, I have no clue what we're dealing with. But whatever it is, we'd better stop Bowen as soon as possible.
Here it is, the radio station.
The storm is getting stronger.
We'd better stay close to each other, Professor. I can see some banners on the building. They look like... oh.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Just as I thought. No power in here.
Is there anything we can do without power?
I doubt it.
This might come in handy, but not right now. I need to get the power on in here first. I'll have to take a look at it later. Right now, I need to get the power running in this station. Not yet. I've got to get the generator running before I can get any work done. No, the door won't budge. Interesting. Very interesting. But it won't help me bring the power back on. This must be the generator room, but it's locked. The entry post is completely wrecked. What happened here? There are way too many beds for a simple radio station.
That would back up what Bowen said. That this place...
It's no use. This switch is completely wrecked. A book titled The Unspeakable Cult doesn't sound like a very pleasant read. It's no use. This switch is completely wrecked. Not yet. I've got to get the generator running before I can get any work done. This must be the key to the generator room.
Look, seems this generator was meant to power the whole facility. Try turning it on, Professor.
Hey, what the...
The current must have caused a power surge in that distribution panel up there. Let me take a look. Maybe I can fix it. Okay. Darn it. This fuse box is sealed. You don't happen to have a screwdriver on you, do you?
What do you think?
Perfect. This'll do. An old fuse box. And it looks like it still works. Even after years under this weather.
Never doubt German engineering. What's the problem?
Well, the whole base runs on an interlock circuit.
What does that mean? I know nothing of technical stuff and you know it.
It means that for the power to reach the antenna, you'll have to manually turn on each switch in order.
You mean I have to look for switches all over the base?
That's right. I'll route the power from this fuse box, and then you turn it on.
Fine. Stay put. I'll get back to you.
Your turn, Professor.
This looks like the station's garage. I wonder why they left vehicles in here. Good. I managed to turn this thing on. Evangeline, try another switch.
Okay. Up to you now, Professor.
Good. I managed to turn this thing on. Evangeline, try another switch.
Okay.
Please, by all means.
You're in charge now.
managed to turn this thing on. Evangeline, try another switch.
Okay.
It's up to you now, Evangeline.
Up to you now, Professor.
Evangeline, I see her.
Harry hesitated to say the words because of how absurd they might sound.
Space ship of some sort?
A spaceship? You mean like a flying saucer?
Yes, we did it!
We're good. Power's on. I'm heading back to the antenna, Professor.
Okay, Evangeline. Huh. Wasn't expecting to see one of these here.
What are you talking about?
It's an Enigma machine. A message encryption device the Nazis used to encode top-secret messages.
But how could you possibly know that?
I worked in intelligence during World War II. Obviously, I was too old to be sent to the front lines. And I can't see a thing without my glasses. But the OSS thought someone like me could be useful cracking codes. So they sent me to Fort Meade, Maryland, to the Signal Security Agency building. Hendricks requested a transfer to Europe last week. He's a man of action, no doubt about it. Russell's desk is always a mess. He's probably on a cigarette break. This is the message that needs to be deciphered. Enigma decoding instructions. The set of components that makes Enigma's encryption possible. We worked hand in hand with the Brits. They'd already managed to crack Enigma, so we hoped their work could help us break JN-25, the Japanese naval encryption system. Excellent. I think I solved it. Maybe we can use their deconstruction process and adapt it to crack the Japanese ciphers. Unfortunately, working for the government also means working for the occasional undesirable individual. Yes?
Professor, this is Caleb Bowen speaking.
Bowen?
It's been weeks since the British handed over everything they had on Enigma. Do you know yet if that encryption model will help us decode JN-25? You have to understand, Professor. Washington is starting to get uneasy. I'll try to buy you some time, but I can't assure you anything.
There are similarities between both encryption systems, but they're not identical. The Japanese use additive methods, as we've seen in earlier models.
When do you think it will be ready?
Cryptography is not an exact science, Bowen. We're making progress, that's all.
Very well. I'll report that to Washington. Professor, hear me out on this. You're doing an excellent job. But please understand.
Listen, Bowen. The only reason I'm doing this is for my country. And one thing's clear to me. The less we deal with each other, the better. So frankly, don't bother trying to butter me up.
Professor, we have more in common than you think. Why do you insist on making us enemies?
Look, no matter how much you try to deny it, I know you're still a damn Nazi. And though I've never been able to prove it, I also know you had something to do with the sabotage of my expedition.
Not at all, Professor. You refused our funding, and that was the end of it.
Right. And you had no prior connection to Miss Cassandra Dexter Ward, is that correct?
As I've already told you 1,000 times, I met Miss Ward when she came to our society with you, asking for money.
So, it was all just a coincidence, right?
Of course. Coincidences do happen, Professor.
Listen to me, you disgusting little man. I have things to attend to. Do us both a favor and don't call again. What a moron. This encrypted message is rather short. I wonder what it... No use. It's encrypted. An encrypted message. Februar 1943.
That's February 43, right?
Februar. Januar 1943. That means January 1943.
Well, yeah. That one's not too hard to get.
ZNPC.
Sounds like a secret Nazi project, doesn't it?
This machinery hasn't been used for years. It's junk. Boy, this radio station gets creepier every minute.
Yes, I can feel a shiver down my spine. And it's not the cold.
Operation Weserübung. The Nazi occupation of Northern Europe. Looks like a workers' registry from 1943. That guy with the white hair must be the senior one. What a creepy-looking face he has. A monocle. He must be upper class. This guy looks like a bureaucrat. It's the Dienstausweis of an SS Oberstgruppenführer. Some Otto Adler.
English, please?
Oh, sorry, it's the ID of a Nazi general. What on earth were they doing in this place? All of these rusty gadgets are useless. There's some sort of cable here. The Nazis probably abandoned the base. That's why this message was never received. Code. I wonder.
Could that be the code to access the reinforced door, Professor?
German names with numbers assigned. Reinforced door. You still think this is just a...
All right, I've gotta admit, this is weird as hell.
At last, we did it, Evangeline.
So the station was just a cover-up. But I wonder what for.
Whatever it is, we're going to find out. And soon.
Harry tried to keep his composure when he saw the oily shadow. He didn't want to alarm Evie.
Let us out.
They locked their own people in here. How could they?
They're Nazis, Evangeline. They're not exactly the good guys. Think we'll find that great engineer of yours down here?
I hope so. This trip will have been a total waste of money.
But Evie suspected there was much more at stake than the cost of their trip.
References a creature. You think that might be your great engineer?
Yes, sounds like it.
A liquid that reacts to sound.
Harry held his breath. The black shadows were back again. But then...
What the hell is that thing?
You can see that too?
That sort of cloud of black smoke? Of course. It looks alive.
Flood. So they carried on without offices, control room, Chronos Lab. That must be it. We have to go through to the other side. But how will we open these doors?
You said control room, right? I bet we can operate the... Well, it seems there's no other choice. Which
I'll
of
go
us...
this time, and I'm not going to allow any argument about it.
Because despite how I look, I'm not 80 yet, Harry thought to himself.
Do you want to go down then?
Go ahead. Lower me down.
All right. Be very careful down there, Professor.
Everything all right down there, Professor?
So far, so good. Though it's very dark in here. I think I know why this place is flooded. They must have tried to break into that flying saucer and then release the black ooze.
Do you see any black ooze around?
All around, yes. I'm pretty sure it was the ship's fuel. I've still got 10 minutes of air in this suit. Evangeline, do you hear me?
Yes, Professor.
I've reached the control room. This looks like the organizational chart for Project Kronos. And that's Felix Stahl. That guy's a member of the Starry Wisdom Society. I really hope they never succeeded. He must be talking about that flying saucer we saw out there. Idiots. Only a fool would conduct experiments with black ooze.
Definitely.
Evangeline, there's a panel here. Maybe it'll open those doors.
Your turn, Evangeline.
I can't crack a single line. No use. It's in German.
Your turn, Professor.
It's up to you now, Evangeline.
Up to you now, Professor.
All right, that's on.
You're in charge now. Professor, look. That thing. It's moving into the next chamber.
It seems to move like a trapped insect. Please, by all means.
Your turn, Professor.
A light just came on. Your turn, Evangeline.
Up to you now, Professor.
Another one.
Your turn, Professor.
It's up to you now, Evangeline.
You're in charge now.
Please, by all means.
Up to you now, Professor.
Good.
Your turn, Professor.
Your turn, Evangeline.
Up to you now, Professor.
Please, by all means.
You're in charge now.
It's up to you now, Evangeline.
Up to you now, Professor. Your turn, Professor.
No. Evangeline is on the other side of that door. That black...
It's up to you now, Evangeline.
Up to you now, Professor.
Please, by all means.
I should go get Harry before continuing forward. I opened this door for you, Professor. You can leave the control panel. I think we're safe.
What is this place? It looks like the heart of Project Kronos.
Could be. Do you think we gave that horrid thing the slip?
I really hope so. After seeing what that black smoke can do to humans, I wouldn't want... What the hell? How did that thing get out?
No time for questions now! Run, Professor! Run! Quick, the bunker door!
Help me close it, Evangeline! Damn it. That was close.